This week on Without Boundaries.
Dolphins, what?
Now, it's easy to forget going green whilst you're on holiday. I mean, all these plush rooms are really all well and good, but are they environmentally safe? Now, it's good to go to those low-impact, eco-aware spots. And, you know, you can do your little bits in the room as well. You can switch up all your lights, your fans, your air conditioning. Every little bit helps. Now, the next time that you're worried about whether it's going to be sunny or rainy, well, you need to do your bit to stop global warming.
Our existence is symbiotic to nature, and with our planet going slightly haywire, it's about time we stop taking advantage of the Earth and start taking care of it. From Berjaya Resort, we drove out to Kuala Ferry Terminal since there are a few agencies that provide the service of organizing trips to Pulau Paya. It's a 45-minute boat ride to the northern part of the Straits of Malacca, which is where the Pulau Paya Marine Park is located.
Now, one of the best things about Pulau Paya is that right by the jetty there is an absolute army of creatures. We've got sharks, we've got grouper, I think there's some barracuda out there, and they're right by where you can be snorkeling. So in a bit, I think we're going to jump in the water and see what we can see.
Pulau Paya is known as Malaysia's oldest marine park sanctuary, so it's no surprise that this area seems to be a gathering spot for aquatic life. The sharks that circle this vicinity are the black-tip reef sharks, and you have no reason to fear them. In fact, more people are killed by bee stings than they are by shark attacks here. Just as humans rule the earth and lions rule the wild, sharks rule the ocean. So as long as we respect them, you can expect only good times in the water. With the Paya experience completed, it was on to the next environment.
Now, the great thing about this trip thus far is that we've been exploring a lot of the marine life. Now it's time to choose a different habitat, something completely more random. We've got different species of animals, and that is the mangrove forest.
Your English better than my Malay, is it? I think so.
I really keep
Okay, together we do a lot of sign language, alright?
My trip here last year was to Machincang Geoforest. This round, I'm headed to the eastern part of the mainland Kawi Island for its Kilim Geoforest. We'll be moving around by boat since this area consists of 3 interconnected river estuaries.
So we've just reached the entrance to Kilim Geopark. Now we've come across a little island called Pulau Anak Tikus, which is sort of baby mouse, I'm guessing. But this is where at sort of high tide and low tide the sea snails come, and supposedly they come to die. So it's like a huge sea snail cemetery of sorts.
Its name probably derived from the size of this island and not the presence of rodents.
Now this rock that I'm stood on right now is amazing. It's over 450 million years old. We've got loads of remnants of fossils, like from shells to little crabby things, but it's so amazing. You know, it's like looking back into the future. Back into the future? That was that, right?
Further up north of this lake, in between the tidal zones of land and sea, lies the mangrove forests. Now, mangroves are shrubs that grow in saline coastal lines while maintaining the Earth's ecological balance. I was told that I could see land-walking fishes, kingfishers, and if I'm really lucky, otters. But clearly, I wasn't lucky.
So this is the designated eagle feeding spot. Now, there are loads of these guys right here, and that's why it's Langkawi's sort of island representative. But of course, there are down points of feeding the eagles as well as plus points. I mean, you're always putting back into the environment, but it's not always good for them because they become dependent on it and they stop hunting in the wild, and sometimes they feed them the wrong things. I mean, they can feed them sort of chicken intestines, which are really bad for the eagles because it kind of softens the eggshell, so it kind of takes back what nature usually gives to them.
The final stop for me was named after its inhabitants. No, bat cave!
So there's lots of bats in this cave.
That's the great thing about the geopark is there's so much to do here. There's the mangroves, there's the caves, there's the little lagoons. So it's definitely worth a visit.
The ones found here are the fruit bats. They're often misjudged as bloodsuckers, but these little guys only feed on fruits and flowers. How cute! Monkeys, now they're the guys I'm going to be cautious of. They're following me! They're following me! Before I left back to KL, I took a walk around Kwa Town to take some photos and test out a new camera. Now, after playing around with it for a bit, I could see that my images were sharp and noise-free with naturally vivid colors. It works well with any lighting condition, even in low light, without the use of flash or a tripod. For those who like playing around with camera effects, there are 6 artistic creative filters available. Amongst them would be the toy camera effect, poster effect, monochrome, and others. And if you really enjoy recording things, just select the movie digest function to simultaneously record a 4-second movie clip before you capture your pictures. Easy peasy.
And it's great to record those personal POVs.
As I left Kilim Geopark, I had one main thought on my mind. I was starving. So after returning to the mainland, our autopilot modes led us straight to the renowned Chanang Stretch. Inevitably, we landed ourselves in Red Tomato Restaurant and Lounge. There's no escaping dining here whenever I'm in this part of the world, knowing that we can expect the warmest of welcomes from our dear old friend Uncle Ollie, and only the most delicious of dishes concocted by his wife Tanya. Now my Langkawi stay has once again been perfected, and I shall be able to return home a happy and contented man. Will we see some hammerheads? Find out next on Without Boundaries.
Oh dear, as always, going to the airport is a fun and very colourful journey for us. We just blew out a tyre going down the motorway at 120 kilometers an hour, and that was pretty scary, so let's go check out the damage. That's what happens when you don't check your tyres, yo. Make sure you got tread. Travel tip, yeah, travel tip number 1, don't go out with full tyres.
So that was our second major scare of missing our flights thus far. Too many close calls for my liking. But since we're already familiar with where to wait and where to line up, once we're on track, things go pretty smoothly. It was a 2.5-hour flight to Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, where we spent the night before waking up early the next day, only to drive back to the airport.
That was like so last season.
Lying isn't a frequent destination, so their flights aren't available daily, and since it's a small aircraft, they're rather strict with the old baggage weight as well.
Henry, you're going. That's our little plane. It's a propeller plane. I think the maximum capacity is about 20 people. We're going about 300 kilometers out, and I'm a bit worried, it's pretty small.
I was very excited. Can you tell?
And see the pilots.
Our flight to Lai Lai will take approximately 1 hour 15 minutes.
Of people in this plane made it feel like a private jet. We could muck about without flight attendants telling us to shush it, and we had the most gorgeous bird's eye view of the Sabah Islands. Oh, I love it.
So we're just about to land, and things are about to get very exciting.
Jam, I look at that. Whoa, we're landing, we're nearly there. Oh my god, I can't wait.
How's the short runway? There we have it, Layang Layang. Jeez, 1 hour flight, and we are in the middle of literally the ocean. I'm in disbelief at the moment. I'm so excited.
Even the weather was absolutely lovely.
Sunshine.
So this is where I'll be staying at the Avilion Resort. Well, obviously, it's a one island, one resort kind of location. Avilion is a modest yet complete resort. It's built out of a tropical hardwood and is architecturally modeled to look like a traditional longhouse, with only flowers dancing in the whispering of the winds and the sun kissing my face with its rays. I felt like I was living in a French poem. Lang Lang is conclusively only for dive enthusiasts, and I could barely sleep last night in anticipation for today. Lang Lang lays about 300 kilometers north of Sabah. Now, it is in the middle of nowhere, and it was intentionally used as a marine base for the Malaysian Navy. Now, because it's in the middle of nowhere, there is fantastic diving. Luckily for us, it's turned into a dive center, and the waters go down to about 2,000 feet. We're only allowed to dive 40, but it holds, I hear, hammerheads, manta rays, even whale sharks. And you know what? In 2004, there was even a killer whale. There's been spottings of sperm whales. This place is an animal kingdom, pretty much. So I'm exceedingly excited to get into the water for our first dive. I have no idea what is in hold for us, but you never do you? So I'm just gonna get aboard and head out over there. As I squeezed into my wetsuit, I realized this is like my second layer of skin, and I love it, and I've missed it so much.
Rich promised me a whale shark today, so...
Our dive master or DM would be Richard, and in our little group, we had a few Japanese guys and an Austrian. Our first dive spot is the Ras Strip. The moment we descend, we see an idyllic sloping bank of predominantly colourful, soft, flowery corals that has the sun peeping down through its shallow, transparent waters. Lang Lang has the healthiest reefs in Malaysia. Now that leads to its extreme diversity in marine livelihood. The next dive site that we were dropped off at had a dense forest-like formation of Gorgonian sea fans that line a steep wall, hence the site name was Gorgonian Forest. The splendor of this great wall and its schools of fish were almost enough to distract me from looking out for hammerhead sharks. Well, I say almost, but the search will continue. To reconnect with nature is probably the best attempt man can have to search for inner peace. It's only too easy to forget how enchanting the trees can be when we're constantly sheltered by concrete and bricks. So compel yourself to get out there. The comforts of modern technology will always be waiting for you back home. But the beauty of nature, no one can assure its endurance. Not anymore anyway. Lang Lang translates to Swallow's Reef, and for good reason. A quick boat ride out reveals a reserve for thousands of migratory birds, making a pit stop before continuing on their long journey.
This be Little Birdie Island. You can smell the ammonia from pretty far back. I mean, the whole island is covered in all these little migratory birds. You can see all the little ones not being able to fly, all the ones on the beach are these little babies. So I think we're going to head out. Wish me luck, I hope I don't get pooped on.
The most common bird here would be the greater crested tern. Its distinct zhuzh-stub hairstyle makes it easily recognizable. They are a monogamous creature that bond with their partner throughout the year. Now, with fish being their main diet, they have the ability to plunge to a depth of 1 meter into the sea.
Now, right on top of the island, there's a little space for all these birds to nest. And it is absolutely full. Heads, walking beaks, feathers, eggs. Did I mention there's birds over here? Check that out.
Okay, I should leave you guys alone now. Did you know that these migratory birds fly up to 10 kilometers if they want to get from land to sea for a fishy meal? Well, if I was a bird, I'd feel pretty tired. I'd rest on this little floater. Oh my god! Okay, never mind. I guess I'm not meant to be a bird that perches on things. Jeez. Yeah, that's a dolphin noise. Coming up next on Without Boundaries. Every dive center is equipped with their dive masters, and it's not enough to have scuba skills. A good DM has to know his dive sites like he knows his ABCs.
Now, I've been spending a lot of time with our dive masters over our travels, and I don't quite know exactly what they get up to out of the water. So today in Lang Lang, I'm going to be spending some time before and after the dive. So let's go head over to see the group.
Right, so in any case, you get lost in the blue. Get 30 minutes to exit.
So this is the briefing now. They do this before every dive, just to make sure everybody knows exactly where they're going, which way the current's going. So it's pretty important for everybody to be paying attention and know exactly what they want to do. It's all about safety.
Although I didn't get to dive with her, Amanda was the DM that was assigned to answer all my questions and be the big boss of me for the day.
I need to know what you guys get up to before the dive. Let's start off with that.
Well, we check the tanks. We check the tanks are full,
Yeah.
there's enough air. If not, then we'll change it again.
Uh-huh.
We'll check all your equipment, the inflators are all okay. And that's about it. And we'll wait for all the divers to come and do the briefing.
And there is a lot of equipment here. There seems to be a lot of maintenance. You're going to set me to the task a little bit later on,
we
yeah?
have to do that.
All right, I'm up for that. All right, let's go.
Here comes boat. So this is the one that we're going to be cleaning out and sorting out all the equipment. Hopefully they've had a good dive, but that's beside the point because now the hard work starts.
That was really fat water. Really? Yeah, one time my head.
We've got a little cleaning station over there, huh?
Yeah.
Can you teach me how to drive? You are? Yeah, you teach me. Okay. We've got the Navy over there, so we can't do anything too bad. How am I doing? Good?
Yeah, good.
Ooh, I hope I don't bang into that little jetty over there. Okay, just a tiny bit closer. A little bit more. Yes.
Damn! Where's the handbrake? Where's the handbrake?
Which row should we start? Should we start with the easy one first?
Turn all the off, release the air.
First task on the list is to clear out all the used tanks from the boat. It's really important to immediately set these aside so we won't mix up the used tanks and the new tanks.
Built some muscles from this, I think.
Every day's job.
Whoopsie! Madam has her hawk's eye on me. Place the new tanks, secure the BCDs around it. This setup will help secure the life of the next person who uses it. So, precision is ultimately essential. So far, I've never seen anyone lift more than 2 tanks at a go. So much bending and lifting. Now to refill up all these tanks with air. Oh gosh, I'm tired. Okay, little confession for you guys. I only managed to fill 1 tank. I don't know how these guys do it. After all that hard work, I was looking forward to my final dive on the island. So this dive site was called Shark's Cave. Yes, its main subject of attraction is obvious. This dive was different because instead of trailing along the reefs, we were led out into the blue in search of hammerheads. There's a hammerhead over there. Oh my gosh, at last, the long-awaited for creatures made themselves known to us. Can you see it? Oh, sorry if we couldn't get many better shots, but they're very shy creatures. Take a look at this frogfish. It's just sitting there waiting for lunch. Now, despite not having teeth, it has a powerful suction to engulf its meal whole, even a prey up to twice its size. Craving for more adventure, I descended down to 36 meters, penetrating into the ledge below. But sadly, all that I saw was one white-tipped shark. And I couldn't stay there for long, because I didn't want to push my deco limit. So I slowly made my way back up the wall and onto the reef flat at the top of the atoll. Colorful fish showered upon me like confetti. We were practically drift diving at this point, and the stronger the current, the more fish were swept past our way. It was absolutely overwhelming. But there's always that one dreaded fish, the evil-looking triggerfish. Now, I've heard countless stories about the triggerfish attacking divers, more than enough to know to keep my distance. When I heard the dive master clink his tank with a heavy heart, I felt like the best had just ended. But that wasn't the case at all.
So we have come across so much luck because we've come across a massive pod of beautiful dolphins. Check these guys out. There must be about 30 in the water. There's a big pod of them. There's little baby calves. And just look at them, just swim. They're just magnificent.
These ballerinas of the oceans were just following our boat. Could you imagine our luck? It was just too surreal. These were spinner dolphins that had very playful yet shy characters. They swam next to us but wouldn't come too close. They moved really fast too. Now when dolphins are in a hurry, they can speed up to 25 miles per hour. And did you know that dolphins have been declared the world's second most intelligent creatures after humans? It was pure joy to see them smiling, watch them playing, and even hearing them laugh under the water. It's quite unexplainable how I felt just looking at them. There's an attraction and connection as though you've just found your soulmate.
The beauty of Layang Layang. So that was our last dive. Absolutely amazing. First thing we see as soon as we get off the reef is a grey reef shark. As soon as we get out into the blue, 3 hammerheads. As soon as we get up out of the water, a pod of 30 dolphins. What more could you ask for? Layang Layang, some of the best diving in the world.
I was feeling humbled and honored to have had such great encounters. This trip has definitely been one of my best experiences that will remain embedded in my heart forever. Now after our minimum surface time of 18 hours, well, we had to fly back to Kota Kinabalu. Next week on Without Boundaries, we'll be going to 5 islands around Tunku Abdul Rahman Park in Sabah.